Hey guys, welcome to Chris Mack. For today's video, I have the 2022 Mercedes GLB35 AMG. Now, at first when I saw the GLB250, I wasn't really impressed with it. I was like, okay, it has decent acceleration. But when Mercedes launched this 35 AMG, it really piqued my interest. So we're gonna do a quick review and take for a drive. As always, please sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn notifications. Let's get into this video, shall we? Looking on the outside of the 2022 Mercedes-Benz GLB35 AMG. This is your key fob right here. You have your lock, unlock, panic button, as well as trunk release. Nice AMG inscripted right there at the bottom of the key fob. Now the GLB did debut for the 2020 model year. You do have two trims, the 250, and then you have this top dog 35 AMG. These are AMG lights, of course. This is dressed in a Cosmos black exterior color with a classic red interior with linden wood trim, which is a $325 option. Now, speaking of options, I would have to assume that this is about $65,000 as far as all options. Looking at the exterior of the GLB, you can see you do have LED headlights, LED daytime running lights. You can get active LED headlights as a separate option. This, of course, has the night package where everything is blacked out. You got the big AMG grille with the slats going vertical. Of course, this does have the parking package with a 360 camera. Now, I am going to put all of the different options in the description below, as this car has so many various options. Looking at the wheels, you do have these 21-inch matte black design right rear wheels. These are a $2,250 option, wrapped in 255 width tires. You, of course, get turbo 4MATIC badge right there for the 35 light. You do have LED turn signals right there with a camera down there, as well as keyless entry for the front door handle. Of course, have your full panoramic sunroof, which is a $1,500 option. Gas tank is on the driver's side. It's kind of shocking because, you know, most German cars, they have it on the passenger side as they drive on the opposite side of the road. But looking at the back of this GLB, man, this thing does look good. Now, the overall vehicle length is about 183 inches long. And it does kind of look wagonish, but because honestly, I'm about 5'6", so as you can see right here, I fit nearly neck to neck with this car as far as height goes. But you got full LED lighting with a aggressive diffuser and dual exhaust setup. Has a nice low growl from the exhaust. You do got full LED tail lights, GLB35 badge inscripted right there. It is, of course, a power tailgate. It does have hands-free access, so if you kick your foot, it will go up or down. You do have about 22 cubic feet of space, which honestly I think is a little bit understressed. This is probably closer to around 30 cubic feet of space, if I'm being honest. You have some storage on this side with illumination, so it's a cargo cover. Air pressure kit right there with some more storage. Even got little storage cubbies right there on either side. Can, of course, lock the doors as well as put the tailgate down. Now let's go ahead and pop the hood and see what's under it. Of course, it's the red latch under there. Now, popping the hood of the GLB35 AMG, this has a revised 2.0 turbo 4-cylinder, which is enhanced to make 302 horsepower and 295 pound-foot of torque. It is connected to a 8-speed dual clutch, getting 20 in the city, 27 in the highway, and a low 22 combined. Overall vehicle weight is about 3,900 pounds as so equipped. Now let me show you guys the back seats and the interior of the GLB. One other thing to mention as well is that you do get a third row option for an additional $850, which will be placed right there, which is definitely recommended for small children. But this is the classic red interior option. So you have red right there, all leather touched. It's a nice touch, and this high grade material down there for the plastic. Now hopping, I have the seat adjusted for my height at 5'6". Now remember, I do sit kind of far back, but I have about 5 inches of leg room and literally about 2 to maybe 3 inches of headroom. Over in this, you do have 2 USB-C ports, as well as a 115 volt. Little storage right there. Do like the air vents. You have pockets right there, your nuts on the back of the seats. Here's a look to the cabin of the GLB. You also do have cup holders in the center armrest. This is nice and leather padded. It does have a panoramic sunroof, as I mentioned earlier. So this shade will open as well as that shade. LED illumination with coat hooks right there. But let's go ahead and get into the cockpit of the GLB35 and see what you are treated to. Now hopping into the cockpit of the GLB, first and foremost, you do have your power seat controls right here on the door, as well as down here on the seat bottom for your four-way lumbar support. Your trunk release, power folding mirrors, of course, which can program to auto fold when you lock the vehicle. All windows are automatic. I like this nice aluminum bar right here. That is a nice touch. Really like grab it when you're trying to close the door. This classic red interior color with the black linden wood trim for $325 really works together. And it's a nice quality. You do have 3-stage heated front seats with 3-person memory for both the driver and passenger. Typical Mercedes controls. Right down here, you do have your gas brake pedal, your trunk release, your hood releases down here. You have your light controls right there on that side, and you can also do the fog lights or the parking lights, as well as cluster illumination and a parking brake. Hopping into the GLB35, the first thing you are greeted to is this lovely microfiber steering wheel, which does also have the AMG drive unit for $400. So you use this toggle to the different drive modes. So you got Sport Plus, which is the most aggressive, Sport, Comfort Mode, which is the basic mode that will start up every time you start the vehicle. You have an individual mode, which if you hit settings right there, you can configure the drive, reduce, moderate, sport, and dynamic, transmission response, dynamics, as well as the adaptive suspension. I'll go over that a little bit later, but on the other side of the steering wheel, you do have your traction control right there, sport handling, and if you hold it down, it will turn off the stability and everything. Auto start, stop, defeat. Of course, you do have nice paddle shifters, which are aluminum, of course. Your wipe controls on this side, and this is your gear shifter on this side. So you put the vehicle into reverse. You have a full 360 camera with the parking package, as well as automatic parking. You can change the different views. And then you hit that and it'll search for a parking space. Push all the way down for drive and then you push for park. Now looking ahead of you, you do have a 10.25-inch display right there, which you can use the different controls on the steering wheel to toggle through. It is touch sensitive, of course. You hit the home button, you can toggle through the different displays in the middle from your driver assistance, which you can customize right there. Phone. You can also put your navigation right there. Now, it is a little funny though with the touch screen, if I'm being honest. And then, of course, you put your AMG Performance right there. You have the Super Sport display, your boost, horsepower, torque, and different drive modes, as well as a G-force meter. Hitting that again, of course, you can have a trip meter, radio functions, media, and of course, you do have your design display right there. So you have Super Sport. This is Sport right there. So you can toggle down basically right there to put the center screen right there. You can change that. So it is flanked with LCD tack and speed on that side. So you hit the home button to change that. You have a classic mode, which is a more softer theme. And you do also have an understated display right there. So it's kind of like a floating display design. It's a pretty good touch. Let me get some AC up in here. Even does auto start stop even at idle, which is crazy. I'm just gonna go ahead and leave it on Super Sport, which I think honestly is my favorite design. Got the tack in the middle right there. Of course, over here you do have your driver assistance for your adaptive cruise control, or also known as Distronic Pilot in Mercedes-Benz terms. So you can hit that to turn it on, and you reset it, turn it on, off, and this is your following distances. I'll show you guys that on the road. Looking over here on this side, this is how you control your MBUX display right there on that side. You can use these buttons for your telematics, volume, and all your different vehicle functions. Push button start with the auto start stop defeat. You can also use the steering wheel mounted button right there. This is your MBUX display right there. If you hit the home, it will show you all of your different presets. Now, I did connect my phone to the MBUX display, and I have to say it was very easy to use, quick and simple. So you see right there, it is connected to the MBUX. Let me try a quick audio test to see how good it does.
Let's go. Yeah, I'm like an addict. Do I gotta have it? I ain't even playing.
As you can see, the sound system is very good. It's clear and crisp. We are going to try a quick navigation test. Pretty good feedback. You can also use the touchpad down there. Boom. Navigation pickup is very quick.
The route is being calculated. Please proceed to the highlighted route and then immediately turn right.
You can customize everything. If you want to have more of an economical route, you can do that. You can change the different themes for the navigation. You have your radio with Sirius XM radio, AM, FM. Media right there, which my iPhone is connected to that. Comfort features right there, so you can control your seat kinetics, which we'll try out. That's when you go on a long ride and you won't get too fatigued. So you can see right now it is moving the seat, which I think is pretty cool. Of course, you can change the ambient lighting with 64 different colors. See right there, you have a little bit of blue. I do love that it comes around the center console as well. That is a nice touch. So you can put red, yellow, any color you desire. Oh yeah, that air feels good. Sorry, I'm dying. But over here you have your performance page, as well as your individual mode, which you can customize right there. So you got consumption, engine performance, which I'll probably leave up on the drive, and of course your other vehicle settings. Just your different Mercedes apps over here on this side with your other vehicle settings right there. This is how you control like your Parktronic, your cruise control settings, your traffic sign assist. This of course has the driver assistance pack as well as the parking pack, and as I stated before, I'm putting all the options down there because this thing has so many options. Ambient lighting, light delays, MBUX system right there, and as well as your owner's manual. You have 3 air vents with some aluminum trim. You got some wood right there, the linden wood right there continues across. Down here you do have a dual zone climate control, some storage down there for your phone. Now in certain configurations this will get a wireless charging pad if you put your phone down there. USB-C port with 2 cup holders, which are a pretty good size. It could be a little bit bigger for the American market, but I'm looking right here, you have your drive mode selector, which is of course redundant to the steering wheel mounted button right there. So you got slippery mode, individual, etc., etc. I already mentioned that. Your camera button right there, you can toggle the different views. Car settings, this is how you can program your favorite button right there. Volume on that side, navigation / maps, radio media as well as telephone, And you can use this touchpad right there to toggle through the different displays. So use that. You can swipe over, you can push down to select, track forward, back, and you have a nice back button as well if you make a mistake. Looking right here, you do have your manual selector mode right there, traction, as well as a adaptive suspension. So you hit that button right there, and it'll toggle through the different suspension from Comfort, Sport, as well as Sport Plus, which of course we gotta leave it Sport Plus. A tiny storage compartment right there. Is definitely smaller than I anticipated. You do have a USB-C port in there. Glove box space is pretty good. You do have an auto-dimming rearview mirror with a full panoramic glass roof and LED illumination throughout the interior. Of course, have SOS and telematic displays. Hope you guys liking this video. We're going to go ahead and take it for a quick drive and see how she does. Let's get into the drive, shall we? All right, we're behind the wheel of the 2022 Mercedes-Benz GLB35. We're starting out in this comfort mode, you can see right there. This comfort mode is basically the daily drivable mode that you'll drive most of the time. As you can see, the 8-speed dual clutch is very smooth shifting and has very fast shifts. Speaking of visibility out the front, rear, and sides, I did to say it is very good. Very good out the side mirrors, the rear, as well as the front. Now I do like the Super Sport display right there in front of you. If you hit the home button right there, you can toggle through to change up the different designs. So let's say since we're in comfort mode, we'll go ahead and just put on the classic displays right there. So of course you do get your boost, oil pressure, and I believe transmission temperature. Of course you do have auto start stop off. You hit the button right there on the steering wheel to cancel it. Off and on. We'll just leave it on for the time being. Definitely hear a little bit of that exhaust. Definitely a lot more growlier than the 250 version. You can really feel a little bit more of the road with this 35. At least at 250. But this 35, you really feel the road. Good turning. You hear a little bit of that turbo. And of course you do have your performance displays right there. So you hit that. It'll pull up your full vehicle settings, as well as engine with your horsepower torque. Now the enhanced 2.0 turbo 4-cylinder, that of course makes 302 horsepower and 295 pound-foot of torque, is very good, very potent. And even under 4,000 RPM, that mid-range torque is very good. We're gonna make this like, we got a GLA35, GLB35. Yeah, I'm still trying to get used to that GLB nomenclature. Of course, you do have your different cruise settings. This, of course, has the driver assistance package. We'll try that out on the highway. Now, if I'm being honest, my favorite display though is of course the Super Sport display. So we scroll over with the touch sensitive buttons. Of course, I have a sport mode right there. So change the gauges, give it more like a yellow. background tone to it. And then you go over here to change to Super Sport. The understated isn't bad, but I like the Super Sport the best. So you see you have your full different selections right there. Put your horsepower, your drive selector, you got G-force. Of course, put your gear right there. And if you put it into sport mode, you can get a little bit more. A little bit more response in sport mode, I have to say. Of course, you do get the burbles and stuff on the upshift. And in the Sport Plus, it'll enhance it even more. So let's go ahead and get onto our back row real quick and see how good the GLB35 does. So of course we are in the Sport mode, which is a nice middle ground between the Sport Plus and the Comfort setting. I do like this classic red interior. Definitely is growing on me. It's not too much red, but it's a good amount of it. It already has good turning. And of course, you do have a full manual mode down here when you hit that. Got a little bit of traffic ahead of us, but might as well play with the paddles. You get that turbo noise, and you also get the hops on the upshift. We're going to tilt the sunroof. Here we go. We'll tilt the sunroof open so you can really hear it. But you're going to try a quick launch control. So you put it into Sport Plus, and then you put ESC into Sport Handling mode. Alright. This is going to be exciting. Pin the accelerator, and then you're going to floor there. Hold on, let's move up a little bit. There we go. Alright, foot all the way down. Yeah, let's try it. Let's turn everything off. All right, so everything's off. Hard on the brake. There we go. All right, so you see it did take a minute to kick in with the launch control, but when it does, you'll get 5.1 seconds to 60 miles an hour. We'll shift forward. And the shifting is just oh so good. Let's open that up and we'll slow down so you can really hear the exhaust. And the dual clutch has very good response. Downshift, downshift, downshift. Woo. Now I do want to try one more acceleration where you just floor from a standstill. We're going to leave it in automatic. Just come to a complete stop. So we're just going to go ahead and floor it. ESC Sport. Low lag. Ooh, yeah. Lovely downshifts too from the 8-speed dual clutch. I do love the AMG drive unit. The AMG drive unit, that's a $400 option, but it does really add a lot of driver focus, like feeling right there with the drive unit. So you got your drive modes, you got your traction, as well as your auto start, stop defeat. I mean, very driver focused, and you get a little bit of burbles too. Let's test that on a little back road. The brakes feel very good though. Vehicle's about 3,900 pounds. A compact SUV. This thing has smooth transition. Lovely downshift. Oh yeah. I have to say, this thing really does impress me on the back roads. This is definitely not my first time going to the back roads in this car, but I do have to say, and the pops and the crackles. I do wish they did have a little bit of burbles though on the D-Cell. I think I hear a little something. Hold on. Oh, I hear a little something. But yeah, I do have to say though, the GLB is pretty good. It does have a lot of value and packs a lot of punch. But we are going to hit the highway and see how she does. So as we make our way to the highway, how does the GLB drive in regular traffic? I have to say it does drive phenomenal. Right now we're in bumper to bumper traffic and the dual clutch is very smooth, as stated before. And it does what it does as a luxury vehicle. You see we're back in comfort mode. Now, of course, you can adjust the adaptive dampers with the button right there, if we so please. But I have to say though, looking at this interior, like every time I look at this interior with the linden wood trim and the classic red interior color, I do have to say it is very breathtaking. I do like the design. It's definitely different from your run-of-the-mill black interior that you'll see on most like Benz, you know, like entry-level Benz cars. But I do love the ergonomics of this. I was just thinking, I was sitting in traffic, you got the nice leather up top. All this is leather padded. And it's a nice contrast. I remember being in like a Toyota Camry, I believe, with the red interior, and I do have to say the red interior in the Toyota Camry was a little bit too much. I mean, everything was red. This is red, this is red. Most of the door was red. It was a little too much, but this is like the perfect amount of red. And if you definitely want to own it like over a set amount of time, this won't get too boring or age out. But as you see right there, I do have the auto start stop going, and as you can see, the engine shuts off. It is very smooth and is very effective at what it does. I don't know how much auto start stops will save on gas, but all I know is it will probably cost you a new starter. Just take some years and see. There we go. You see it fire right back up. Lay your foot off the brake just a little bit and it'll shut off. But I do like the MBUX display right there. It's very easy, very legible. And under 3 grand RPM, the car is just smooth. That's what I can mostly say right now because it's, you know, it's true. If you guys don't know, I do have a, when I was younger, I was addicted to Mercedes like crazy. Oh, you getting over? I'm getting over. Hey, it's a win-win situation. We both win. But yeah, so we're gonna hop on the highway. I'll just go ahead and leave the ESP in normal because, I mean, you can't do much on the highway as far as handling goes. One thing I definitely can't hear is a little bit more road noise. You can really hear the cars like whizzing by. So of course, higher end Mercedes will have a little bit more of a quieter cabin noise. Like I said, the GLB 250 it honestly really didn't do it for me, but this 35 I think is like perfect, a nice sweet spot. 5.1 seconds to 60. Alright, let's throw it in Sport Plus real quick. There we go. Alright, let me throw it back in the Comfort. I'm gonna show you guys the Drive Pilot with the driver assistance pack. So you hit on, and then you push down to set the speed. You can increase the speed, and then you can increase or decrease the following distance. Right now we're at 1 following distance, and it's using the camera right there to follow the vehicle in front of me. Just like other typical adaptive cruise control systems, it is very easy to use. And of course it does have a steering assist down there. Let's slow down a little bit to like 55 and we'll try out some of that acceleration. That exhaust, oh my goodness, I love that exhaust. A little bit of manual mode. This car does have a lot of driver engagement, to be honest. Now when you're in the highway, of course, and you are in the Sport Plus setting, I would definitely decrease the dampers down into its comfort setting, especially if you're doing like high-speed cruising. Good balance. But as we wrap up the video on the GLB35, what do I think about it? Let's go ahead and throw it back in the Comfort. What do I think about the GLB35? Now, I'm happy to report that the car is very nice. I do like the performance feel that you do get from the vehicle. Overall driving dynamics are pretty good. I mean, the car won't embarrass itself in the back road, which I do like. It's just small enough and very dialed in. Just like the lower-end Mercedes, there's the auto start stop. But especially when you go up like the higher Mercedes, you don't get that much driver involvement unless you go for like the AMG design stuff. But this actually does all the things that you need on a daily basis if you have a family. Now, if I had to assume the MSRP, because this one is used, it has about 500, 600 miles on it, I would have to say that this is probably about $66,000, $65,000 if I had to guess. Hello. Yeah. We're saying hello to a cop in a minute. Let's give it a little. And on the brakes. But I did want to elaborate a little bit more on my opinion or conclusion of the GLB35. Now, I do have to say that I do like the performance of it. 5.1 seconds to 60, and then you get the pretty good acceleration and then the snappy transmission. Of course, you do have driving feel. You see we're in Sport Plus. You can adjust the dampers right there. And I do love the individual setting right there, which allows you to customize everything. When you drive, the transmission, the dynamics, and the suspension as well. But I have very few complaints though with the GLB35. One is, of course, the pricing of this vehicle. Now, as used, this is actually a pretty good deal. This is going for about $59,000. But as equipped brand new as this will be about $66,000. Let's throw that cruise control back on. There we go. Of course, the Drive Pilot is very easy, but that is one positive though. The Drive Pilot is very easy to use. The additional charge, putting the price right here. But overall, I do have to say the GLB is nice. You got the nice touchscreen right there, very easy to use. The MBUX, and of course, you have wireless integration for your phone. But I honestly don't have that many complaints with the GLB. Now, of course, you will get a little bit more road noise on the highway compared to, as I stated before, the higher end Mercedes-Benz, but provides a lot of punch in this nice compact size package. Wish it was a compact size price, but it ain't. But if you want just a little bit less room, a little bit more of a nimble option, of course, you can get a GLA35 AMG. A little bit smaller, definitely more of a two-row, like compact